This is for Module 1, Lesson 23, Division of Decimals using Multiplication Facts. So here's some examples up on the board of the types of division problems we're solving. And we talked today in class about how when we are dividing, we're actually setting up a multiplication sentence to help us. So in this example, for this first one where we have 9/10 divided by 3, we're going to ask ourselves 3 times what number will give us that 9/10. So now I'm going to ask myself 3 times what number will give us just 9. I'm not going to worry about the decimal place yet. And we all know our facts of 3 times 3 is 9. So that's the first step. The second step that we need to do is that we need to figure out, since this ends in the tenths place, I have to make it so that the 3 ends in the tenths place. And in order to do that, I need to put a decimal to the left-hand side so that it says 3/10. So 3 times 3/10 equals 9/10. In order to check that, I do the actual multiplication, which we did the other day. And 3 times 3 is 9. And when I make one jump in and one jump in, and that 9/10 matches my 9/10 as my answer. Next question. Over here we have 24 hundredths divided by 4. What does that equal? So I ask myself 4 times what number equals 24 hundredths? But I'm really asking myself 4 times what number equals 24? And I know that to be 6. And now I look over here and this ends in the hundredths place right here. So I have to make my 6 say 6 hundredths. And in order to do that, I need a decimal and a 0, and that will give me my 6 hundredths. Now I go down below and I'm going to check that, and I'm going to do 6 hundredths times 4, and I do the multiplication. I make 2 jumps, so 2 jumps in my answer, and that matches so that I know that I did that correctly. Next problem. We're now going to look over here at 8 times what number equals 32 thousandths. So we know what number times 8 will equal 32 would be 4. But I'm ending in the thousandths place all the way over here. So I know that I need to make this 4 thousandths. And that's how I make 4 thousandths. And I check it by multiplying. Three jumps. So 3 jumps, and they match. Those are the basic problems, and now we're going to move to some more advanced problems. So now it changes a little bit. So we're going to look right here, and we're going to start with 5 times what number equals 1 5/10. So 5 times what number equals 15. It's 3. It ends in the tenths place, so I make it my tenths place, and I check. One jump, and they match. When I look over at this middle problem, this is where things start to change. So I ask 5 times what number equals 1 5/100ths. And this time I ask myself 5 times what equals 1, and there's nothing there. So I then ask 5 times 10 equals what? And 5 times 2 equals 10. So now I've used all of that up. And now I'm looking 5 times what equals 5, which is 1. This ends in the hundredths place, so if I put a decimal right there, that's the hundredths place. I once again can check my work by multiplying. Two jumps, and they match. So I'm doing my division by using multiplication, and I'm doing it with all facts that go in evenly. There will be no remainders when I'm working with my decimals. So the next one, 5 times what number equals 3 and 15 thousandths? So I'm going to go through this again, the same method. I ask, can 5 times a number be 3? My answer is no, so there's 0 there. The next thing I ask is 5 times what can go into 30 since I haven't used my 3 yet, and 5 times 6 is 30. So now I've used that up. So now I ask myself the next question, 5 times what will give me 1? There's nothing that will do that. So then 5 times what will give me 15? And that would be 3. And then I look over here and I notice that I'm going to the thousandths place. So I make sure that my answer goes to the thousandths place. And then I check with multiplication. 3 jumps. So 3 jumps and they match. We'll try about 3 more. So I'm going to go over here. 6 times what number equals 4 and 8 tenths. So if I ask myself 6 times what number gives me 48, it would be 8. And since we're in the tenths place, we make it the tenths place. Go over here. 8 times what number will give us 4 and 8 hundredths. We go back to the method we were using before. We ask ourselves, can 8 times a number give me 4? Since the answer is no, we put 0. So now we ask 8 times what number can give me 40? That's 5. Since 8 times 5 is 40, we've used all that up. Now I say 8 times what number can give me 8? The answer is 1. And now I've used all that up. But I see right here I have to go to the hundredths place. In order to go to the hundredths place, I need a decimal right there. And now I have to check. To make sure that my answer makes sense. 2 jumps, so 2 jumps, and they match. Last question that we're going to do to review is 7 times what number will give me 63 and 21 thousandths. So first I ask myself, can 7 go into 6? We say it goes in 0 times. Can 7 go into 63? Goes in 9 times. So this is all used up. Can 7 go into 0? That's 0 times. 7 times a number cannot give me 2, so another 0. 7 can go into 21 3 times. Now I look over at it. I'm in the thousandths place. So if I put a decimal here, I end in the thousandths place. Now I'm going to multiply to double check my work. And I look at that and I say I made a mistake. Sometimes when I do my check, if I go too quickly, I can catch some of my mistakes. 7 times 0 should have been 0 right here. So now that I see that I am correct, I know my answer matches and I did correctly. And that's how I multiply with decimals using my multiplication facts.